In Mark Twain's book, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Tom was forced to whitewash a fence as punishment for playing hooky. Tom didn't like that idea, so he convinced his friends that painting a fence would be fun. So they did it for him. Tom didn't enjoy painting the fence because to him it was work. His friends did enjoy it because to them it was play. In his book, Drive, Daniel Pink calls this the Sawyer effect. When your motivation is intrinsic, you do something for your own sense of fun and adventure. You'll work hard without a care in the world. When your motivation is extrinsic, you do something because someone else is offering you a carrot or a stick. You're less likely to do it without that motivation. In fact, Pink tells of a study after study in which people do something for just the enjoyment of doing it until someone starts paying them to do it. Then they tend to refuse to do it without the money. The focus shifts from the love of adventure and activity to just doing whatever they have to do for the money. Mark Twain seems to echo the sentiments of his famous character when he wrote, "What work I've done because it's been play. If it had been work, I shouldn't have done it." Pink writes, Teresa's Amabile of Harvard Business School and others have found that extrinsic rewards can be effective for algorithmic tasks, those that depend on following an existing formula to its logical conclusion. This is true too for routine, dull tasks that don't require much creativity. But for more right-brain undertakings, those that demand flexible problem-solving, inventiveness, or conceptual understanding, contingent rewards can be dangerous. As the economy moves toward more right-brain conceptual work, this might be the most alarming gap between what science knows and what business does. Pink acknowledges that some people are very comfortable being motivated primarily from extrinsic forces. Some of you might argue that teenagers are motivated to do what's best for them purely by extrinsic forces, but most people are most likely to maintain their motivational drive if they are in a position to perform with autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy is the freedom to perform your vocation or avocation in a way in which you feel empowered. Most like to have the freedom of choosing the time in which they can perform. Some like the autonomy of performing in a way that they choose, or choosing the projects that interest them rather than someone else, and others love leading a group. Even when performing at your job, which is ostensibly working for the goals of someone else, having a sense of autonomy about how that job is performed is likely to improve your motivation to do a good job. When Pink describes a sense of mastery that's vital for top performance, he doesn't mean that you're so good at something that you don't have to think about it. Think about play. It could be canasta or tennis or charades. It's probably just fun for you if you play with someone who's about the same level of mastery, preferably a friend, a friend that you like to compete with, and you win. The winning gives you a sense of satisfaction, but the challenge is also fun. If either of you were considerably better than the other, it wouldn't be as interesting. For this sense of mastery that stimulates drive, it's not being a master that's important, but that you get the sense that you're mastering steps along the way to a larger goal. The model for this perfect play would be the sense of flow as described by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He studied autotelic experiences, auto meaning self and telos meaning goal or purpose, experiences that were self-fulfilling. What he found was that when people were engaged in an activity with a larger purpose, and they were challenged but not too challenged, they were completely engaged as if they were the activity itself. They were in perfect control, and their sense of time, place, and even self melted away. I've used play as an example, but Csikszentmihalyi found that people are much more likely to find a state of flow at work. To achieve a sense of mastery and that perfect sense of flow, it's important to first have a growth mindset that puts you on the path to improvement towards a larger purpose. Then you autonomously choose to be challenged, but just enough to have a sense of adventure. Then you get lost in your activity. You are forgetting yourself in function. Those who are acting with autonomy and mastery tend to achieve more than most and enjoy doing it, but those who act with a larger purpose maximize their efforts. Researchers at the University of Rochester study graduates of the university. They categorized two groups of subjects, those with extrinsic aspirations, which were to become wealthy or famous, and those who had intrinsic aspirations. They wanted to improve themselves and help others. As you might have guessed, a few years after graduation, those with intrinsic goals were happier. Those with profit goals were successful as they had desired, but they showed increases in anxiety and depression. The researchers were surprised to find that the attainment of profit goals has no impact on well-being and actually contributes to ill-being. So when you're choosing a larger purpose to guide your development of mastery, it's generally best to choose a purpose that is in service to others or develops your own spirit and abilities. In summary, to maximize your motivation and drive, choose an activity with a larger purpose, and that purpose could be as simple as being the best at that craft. Find elements of your activity in which you can express your autonomy and increase your mastery. Then enjoy your craft. Their primary pleasure is in the performance of the craft, not from the monetary compensation it produces. And be more like Tom Sawyer's friends than Tom being punished. And think of your activities as fun. Bring a sense of play to your work and enjoy that perfect sense of flow.